Yo, if I had 100 sheep and one of them got away, I would leave the 99 and go find that one. That's right. Look from the locks and jaws of Satan, I come creating, penetrating with force from the land.
This is the Get to Free Press. I'm George Boston Rhymes. And I've been doing this work since 1975, and I've covered some real ugly stories. The story I'm about to cover is not ugly. It's about a factual event that's coming up in the state of Georgia, and I want everybody to pay close attention to this video, and I want you to share it. And you all know that's something that I very seldom ask you all to do. Today, I have one of several candidates that's running for Georgia State Conference President of the NAACP. And so we're going to listen to Mr. Bobby Worthy as he want you to draw a picture of himself within your mind by what he shared with you today. Again, to Get to Free Press, George Boston Rhymes, Bobby Worthy.
Hey, Bobby Worthy here. I am one of the three candidates that's running for the Georgia State Conference President. I just want to give you a short blueprint of my platform for the NAACP president, and a little history of the things that I have done over the years and continues to do. And then I'm going to address some of the comments that on other Zoom meetings I've been on with the other candidates that they have said. In short, my main thing is government, police accountability. Because we got to have government accountability. Until we have accountability, there can never be effective change. This is what people got to understand. We can march, we can protest, we can rally, march, protest, bullhorn, speeches, I have a dream speeches, but that's not going to have no effective change. We've been doing that for over 400 years. It's time to take the NAACP into a platform, into the future of what it was meant to be. In my humble opinion, I think the NAACP has lost its fire. It's because of wrong leadership. Because I've learned years ago that leadership reflects leadership. So if you have bad leadership, then those who follow that leadership is not going to be affected because they follow the characteristics of those leaders that's over there. My platform is short. Parole, police and government accountability, and I get to parole. Police and government accountability, and we must hold police accountable at the lower level, and then maybe we'll stop them at the higher level, like speeding. Excessive speeding, we see it all day. Reckless driving every day, all day, along the highways and byways, as they say in the state of Georgia. We see all this all the time, and no one is holding these police accountable. So my plan, my former platform is to make sure we hold them accountable for speeding, reckless driving, reckless endangerment, and then they go up the road and give you a ticket. That's not equal justice under the law. The Constitution was written, people, if you don't know, the Constitution was written to protect the people from the power and oppression of an overbearing government. Now, parole reform. And that, parole and prison reform, parole and probation. The reason why, as one of my candidates said, they're being all over, it's coming up with parole reform and all that, several candidates, and that's a good thing. But I'm gonna tell you this, and until you make parole and probation right, then you have no legal grounds to fight on. And that is the facts. Parole and probation is a privilege. It is not a right. This is why we have overcrowdedness. This is why they have understaffing. This is why they have inmates not getting out. They got grid sheets that they go by, but they're not going by because parole is not a right. So if you really want to talk prison reform, then let's talk effective change in the parole system and making it a right and not a privilege, as well as probation. Second of all, education. And when I talk about education, we understand that getting kids to further their education and all that, and that's fine and dandy. But until then, the mindset is the key to education. Wherever your mind is, I tell people everything we do. Unity is not gathering of the bodies or meeting in a place where all us gather together. That is not unity. Unity starts within the brain. And until you make an effective change and change the mindset of those, especially the youth, until you change the mindset of people, then nothing else ever can change. Because wherever the mind is, the body gonna follow. Now I even seen some of my candidates. I've seen them, my candidates. Here we are with the same I have a dream speech. We shall overcome. All this stuff over and over again, the same stuff. I'm sick and tired. I want to know, I'm not going to take it no more. I want to know, are y'all really sick and tired? Because y'all say this at every event. And in changing the mindset of our people, we must first start with the youth. Building the youth units up, building them up with the adult branches, because they are the future. They will hold the power of the future. Because without them, if they're following in our footsteps and we're not doing nothing, then the future is going to remain the same and ain't nothing going to change. This is why what makes me the better candidate for the Georgia State Conference president. If you're an attorney and you're not using it for the benefits of the organization, please step aside and let those about justice come aboard. Because if you're not using it for the advantage of the organization, NAACP, then stop campaigning with that, because no one cares. Now, and I'm gonna get down to it. The current president, one of the candidates, G.B.R, said on the conference call that no one of the candidates has the qualification. He has the best qualification to run, to lead the NAACP. Well, he done been doing that for 2 years, and he didn't let it into the ground. Second of all, he claimed that he had in the courtrooms and he's battled this in the courtrooms. I go all over the country. You just in Georgia. I was involved in Mike Brown, the Mother Manuel in Charleston, South Carolina, the shooting of what's the name? Well, anyway,
Bobby, take your time. We ain't in no hurry. Okay. You got that. People want somebody who's calm. Don't get so emotional. Certain points, but not throughout.
Okay. All right. And Mother Man. So I drove all over the country. I've been in all the courtrooms, federal court, state court, misdemeanor, municipal courts. I've got all over the country. The president, Griggs, you just in Georgia. First of all, and then you want to, as I can say, you want to act like you played a role in the Naacp case. No, you didn't. It was, and if y'all see my platform, you'll understand this. It was me that brought national attention to the Naacp case. It wasn't no one else. It was me that brought national attention to the Naacp case. It was me who, along with Grandmaster J of the Black Militia, that sent out a letter to the district attorney in Liberty County telling them they had 10 days to make that arrest of them in Michaels, or we were going to make it for them using the citizens' arrest. The lawful right for citizens to make arrests. It was me and my co-defendant, former Judge Paul Nally, who filed the petition in the grand jury in Glenn County, who addressed the grand jury in Glenn County, and who was successful in having Jackie Johnson arrested and indicted. It was not Gerald Griggs. You played no part in the Ahmaud Arbery case, but showing up with your bullhorn after everybody else in news media. Stop all the pretending. That's what I'm talking about. The pretending, the backstabbing. What I'm trying to bring back to the NAACP is structure, accountability from within the organization as well from without. And other candidates talking about, and the candidates are crying. They are saying that they are more qualified. Of course, that's just campaigning. But look at my history. This Judge Griggs said he been doing this since college. I've been doing this for 3 decades. I've unseated judges. I've freed prisoners. I've made phone calls and got people out of jail. Stop with the pretending. We need somebody that's real with this. It's time to put that bullhorn on the shelf and take it to the next level and pick up that mighty ink pen. Because, like I said, if you're an officer of the court. As an attorney, you're an officer of the court. And I know this, and most people may not know this. As an officer of the court, you have, upon your sworn affidavit, you can have somebody locked up. Now you tell me, why is all these civil rights attorneys not doing that? Stop with all this pretending, man. It's time for justice. It's time for justice. Don't understand this? See this thing? It's time for justice. Real and true justice. Now let me explain to y'all why on my flyers I got real spelled R-E-E-A-L. It's not a typo. It's because of all my social medias, I got real talk on it. And it stands for the realest, because I am the realest. Because see, everybody that know Bobby Worthy knows that I live and I breathe, I sleep, I eat, I wake up justice. That's all I do. I live and breathe this. All other candidates just want a title. That's all they want to do is hold a title. And let's not to mention, in Camden County, the role I played in the Tony Punch Green case. It was me that took a warrant out on the judge for the unlawful acts that he did when he set a bond for Zachariah Presley and was not authorized to do so under the Georgia state law. It wasn't Gerald Griggs. It wasn't the NAACP. It was Bobby Worthy. So, October the 7th, if you all want justice, you want to change the mindset of our people, you want to take this movement to the level it should have been at, then vote for me, Bobby Worthy, October 7th, National Convention, as your next Georgia State Conference president. And I promise you this, as the president, everyone, members, presidents, district coordinators, everyone will have my number, and all my information will be posted on the state website to contact me 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, especially if it's about injustice, because I live and breathe this. And my plan is to take the Georgia State Conference to the biggest and make them the best and strongest, and bringing the youth and college chapter along with us and building better units and stronger units all over the state of Georgia, and to attack injustice like it's supposed to be attacked, with that ink pen and not that bullhorn. So with that said, I'm going to post all this on my social medias. I'm going to post it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is on the flyers I set out, but if you need it, 912-424-0752. It's Bobby Worthy, your next president for the Georgia State Conference. taking it to the future.
Bobby, thank you so much. I'm sure that you will assist the membership of those who can vote for the next state conference president. But I would like for you, because you addressed this so much, I want to allow you space here to pick up the bullhorn and tell us what you think about the bullhorn and its effectiveness yesterday or today.
Hey, over there, we sick and tired. We're not gonna take this no more. We want justice. There it is, y'all. Where justice at? It ain't came yet. It's only gonna come through this. The mighty ink pen. And so-called our state president now, the attorney that has been in courtrooms after courtrooms, hadn't made no effective change. He hadn't used this ink pen one time to attack injustice where I seen him on the battlefield. I use this all the time. And as y'all can see, if you're looking at my platform and those in Gwinnett County, look what I just did in Gwinnett County. I exposed the magistrate courts for the unlawful acts they are doing and gave them a certain amount of time to respond before I take it to the next level.
Which is the pen.
Which is that ink pen.
Thank you very much. Now, this week, you took a trip to Douglas and Coffee County, Georgia, with the historic Commissioner Olivia Coley Pearson. And what were you doing there? And I understand that you have some a court case dealing with Coffee County. Explain on that a little bit.
Yes. Well, of course, everybody knows Miss Olivia Coley Pearson now has been elected for enemy. Did I say it right? Enemy. I went down to Coffee County. Matter of fact, the same Coffee County. I went down there to support the voter suppression where Donald Trump and all these people that was against Miss Olivia, especially Misty Hampton, the election supervisor, who said on camera, "Don't you record me," but now she's all over news. Picture, video, and everything. And her role play that she helped set up the Trumpsters to come in there and steal voters' information. Now, with that said, this is the same crooked Coffee County. And y'all notice now, it's crooked Coffee County. And I can't really elaborate on too much because I have an attorney and he did tell me not to say too much about it, but I will elaborate that the same thing that I was successful, me and my co-defendant did in Brunswick, Glenn County, with the petition to the grand jury, addressing the grand jury, and having Jackie Johnson arrested and indicted. Same thing we did in Coffee County against a judge. And I'm just giving you a brief description because my attorney won't be talking about it. But in return, we filed the same thing to a certain judge in Coffee County. The Coffee County District Attorney's Office took our petition, did not address it right, and had the grand jury reverse the charges on us and issue a special indictment, special presentation, and indicted us for falsifying documents, which is a felony that carries 10 years in the state of Georgia. So this is what we're fighting now, because I'm fighting for justice for others like Roscoe Allen, and this was against what happened to Roscoe Allen. And I don't want to go in detail. The complaint was filed with the grand jury on the actions that the judge took. And that goes back to my platform, Police and Government Accountability. We must hold judges liable for their actions. But listen, I'm saying that nowhere in the Constitution I challenge any attorney, and that includes our current state president, Gerald Griggs. I challenge any attorney to prove me wrong for what I'm about to say. The Constitution was never written to protect the government. It was written to protect the people from the power and the oppression of an overbearing government. That's what it was for. It never was written to protect the government. So, with that said, we are fighting for our freedom. And while fighting for our freedom, I am still fighting for your freedom and justice. All day, every day. Sleep, wake up, breathe it. I breathe it all the time. I am about justice. No other candidate is more qualified than me, because the passion I have to attack injustice is carried by no one, because this gift that I have came from God Almighty.
Thank you so very much. Now, Bobby, some of these candidates I don't think I know they wasn't in office when they had trouble over in Brooks County, Quitman, Georgia. And I was called December 21st, 2010. A group of outstanding black men and one man was arrested by then Governor Nathan Deal and Secretary of State Brian P. Kemp, brought up on hundreds of bogus voter fraud charges. And did you get involved in that? Because a lot of people, I think, don't know anything about that case, but did your work carry you over there? And if so, whatever happened with those people?
Well, the equipment 10 plus to make a long story short, yes, I wasn't directly involved, but I was involved in this case. We rallied, and even NAACP was involved at a certain time in that case. I think it was under our Edward DeBoer's leadership then, because we did all visit down there, march and protest and all of that. And brought away, like I said, don't get me wrong, y'all. I don't think this is ineffective. Alright? Don't get me wrong. When I say we need to retire this, it's because we're doing too much of this and not doing enough of this, the ink pen. And then the so-called attorneys are the ones who can push the ink pen. You also the court. The paperwork you can file. And see, my thing is to get with the district attorney, and I'll get back to you in a minute, George, on the question. My thing is to get with the district attorney, to get with the district coordinators in the NAACP, and all the local branches, presidents and all of them, and teach them the things that I've done. Teach them the things to file paperwork to take the NAACP to another level. Because after the NAACP investigate, they can't go no more. It's getting pro bono attorneys. I have attorneys already on the list for this. And even coming up with some kind of legal fund to finance an attorney that has to take the case when we can't take it no further. But until then, it's teaching through the district coordinators and the local presidents and the local branches, is teaching them the things that I've learned to file over the years. And guess what, y'all? You don't have to be an attorney. If you can file them, then why is our current president not filing it? But the thing is, the writ of mandamus, the writ of habeas corpus, the quanto wanto, writ of quanto wanto, the petition to the grand jury, the color of law complaint, filing the judicial qualification Michigan complaint correctly, filing a state bar complaint correctly. This is the things that I'm going to teach to take you to the next level. And the most powerful of all of them, that my thing is the writ of mandamus. The writ of mandamus is to put in place. You can file it in state or federal court, and you don't have to be an attorney. And to force, a writ of mandamus is to force the public officials to do the duties entrusted of them. That's why I am the best candidate for the Georgia State Conference president.
Bobby, you never didn't answer my question about equipment, Tim. That's right. Let's just put that pin in that now and we'll be through with that. My question is that I was listening on a Zoom the other day, and one of the candidates said something about all the things, or some of the things that you call, I think was written mandamus, as well as some others, that the NAACP may not be able to do some of that stuff. It sounded like as if though maybe you didn't know what you was talking about. What do you say to that?
Well, what he was talking about is the NAACP, or basically don't get attorneys. That's what he said. They don't operate. They don't operate like that, and I believe that's what he was talking about, per se thing. But I don't think he never answered the rhythm and dance and all that stuff that I talked about. But I was just thinking he was just saying the NAACP don't have legal funds to get attorneys, if that's what I remember he was talking about.
Thank you very much. I'm asking you to take 1 or 2 minutes to close us out.
Well, I want to go back because I did skip over something that's very important, and that's equipment 10+2. That where the G.B.R. Again, y'all, this goes back to my platform. Accountability, police and government accountability. Completely lied under oath. Completely, willfully, and intentionally lied under oath. And the judge or no one held them liable for that. Why do you take an oath if you're not going to enforce the laws that go with it? Why? It's because they all buddies and they don't care. And I'm here to tell you, I do. And I'm going to make effective change. Bobby Worthy, October the 7th, your next Georgia State Conference president. We're going to take it to the level it needs to be. Peace.
This is the Get To Free Press, and I'm George Boston Rhines in Valdosta, Georgia. I've been doing this type of work since March of 1975, and I do it because I love you all just that much. I didn't always do work like this. I went to church, and I shouted, and I clapped my hands, I preached the gospel, and I fell down on the floor, jumped over a couple benches, but I found out that that didn't help the people who were suffering and in pain. And so that's when I fell on my way to the bus station, and I stood up, and I've been standing up ever since. And after I found out that the white mainstream news media will not cover most or the most important news in the black community. So what I did, I began to pick up my camera and do what I'm doing now. So whatever you hear today, you can just call me as a person such as Paul Harvey, carrying on and reporting the rest of the story. Bye-bye. We go.